Come on. I feel it. Yeah. Yeah. I turn on my radio and I wonder what happened to rap. I understand trying to sell records, but these motherfuckers is whack. And bring home platinum plaques. Whatever happened to rapping with skill? Whatever happened to having to have versatility in order to get you a deal? Instead, these niggas is making up dances, singing a catchy chorus. Yeah, they got the club moving, but they ain't rapping about nothing important. I don't care how much bread you got. I don't care how many bottles you pop. I don't give a fuck what your whip sitting on, nigga. Where I'm from, that'll get you shot. My mama was telling me when I was young, I'm singing the devil's music, but it feels so good when I do it. This hip hop shit had a nigga influence. Matter of fact, I was one of the students. Look at me now, I'm more like the principal, about to expel all these fictional rappers that's running around like they lyrical. Here we go, like a middle finger against the thumb, I'm ready to fucking snap. They be like, what the fuck is that? When I rip MCs like a mustard pack. Tell them all that they must stand back. Y'all dealing with a nigga that do this shit. You got to feel it. I had love for hip-hop before VH1. Reincarnating hip-hop cause we ain't done. How he supposed to be the king of rock and he ain't run? How they burning down his kingdom and they don't spit fire? Hip-hop, it ain't dead, the MCs is retired. The Rose about to clean house, all you niggas is fired. Ain't talking about nothing. Less is about money, about his jewels, how we stunting. Pants so tight, gotta fight to get your nuts in. Homo thugs, promo thugs. She ain't pimping cause you make it rain in go-go clubs. Sell out shows, but in the hood, get showed no love. Beat the game, not the player. The game a try and player. Gotta fit they molar, radio won't even play ya. Player, this music shit's in my heart, and I'll be damned if I let you lames tear this shit apart. Got to feel it.
Send a letter bomb to your editor, personally describing a horror scene, blow your mind like the Predator. Sever your preconceptions by stating the facts. Them dudes laying the vocals, Gene Panay. Sports talk, entertainment, news and politics, relationships, logical steps and common sense. Topics of conversation for the masses to connect. After the broadcast, give you reasons to reflect. Respect all opinions, but we're here to serve the core audience food for thought. Welcome to Furthermore.
That part.
What up?
What's going on? Yo, where am I at? Where am I at? They cannot hear me. There we go.
Wake up. It's about to be the first of the month.
That's one of Smoke's like all-time favorite groups. Mm-hmm. You knew that?
Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
He got to tell y'all about this baby bird.
Know that about me.
Is Smoke a bone? Right. Is he a boneologist?
No. He's
a who?
Boneologist.
We're gonna pause for a second.
What happened?
Say that one more time, Quest.
Y'all say he's a boneologist.
Let me study what that word could possibly mean.
Why,
y'all about to see how filthy everybody's minds is.
Of course. No, he's one of the ultimate Bone fans. Like he showed me something. What was the name of that song, Smoke, you showed me yesterday?
He had to step out for a second.
Oh, man, see.
So Smoke gives me this song that has Bone on it, Biggie, and I'm not talking about the one that everybody knows. Redman, Coolio, Helter Skelter, Ill Al Scratch. It's like mad hip hop people on the song with Bone. I'm like,
I mean,
Never
is
heard
Bone
this.
not hip hop though?
But I've never
and
heard
that's funny
this
y'all
song.
both are saying that, because if Smoke was here, he would literally tell you, like, we were having a conversation about different rappers that can fit in different groups. So like we hate when there's like a GOAT conversation, because the greatest like trap or a really great trap rapper is not in the same category as like a rapper that's like Nas or Wale or J. Cole.
Right, which I think is a discredit to.
Right. So he was just saying, like, with Crazy, he was like, he fits into all of those categories.
He can be.
Right.
He can be.
So is that a criteria for GOATness?
Because all those criteria.
Busta Rhymes is still the GOAT of all GOATs to me.
Really? I see that for you.
Why for me? Why is it not for everybody? Busta Rhymes is a lyricist.
Yeah, it might not be that for everybody.
He has been around and relevant. Everything he touches, he kills. He is the go-to feature. He will swallow your budget. Mm-hmm. Like, what else?
I definitely give it to him. He's an awesome rapper.
Than being a billion-dollar mogul, does Busta Rhymes? What is it? What's the separation between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z? Let me ask that question.
The honest truth.
What's the separation between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z?
Lyrically?
Nah. I think
anything. I'm leaving it as open.
For my personal opinion, I think that Jay-Z's street cred is more defined than Busta Rhymes, simply because Jay-Z in his past is how he started his career. Busta Rhymes was a very animated character when he started, and then turned into himself.
What do you mean?
As far as like he gave. When you go back and listen to Busta Rhymes at the beginning, just like Jay-Z, when you go back and listen to Jay-Z at the beginning, Jay-Z at the beginning was Hawaiian Sophie, but you don't know that because it wasn't mainstream. Busta Rhymes' biggest shit prior to was Scenario, bro.
Prior to what?
His mainstream success. He was with a group.
Right.
And you didn't really know who he was in the group.
You
knew who he was. That's what I'm saying.
Man,
so wait.
Stop the tape and turn the goddamn cameras off.
I'm saying, listen here. Hear what I'm saying.
You missed it.
I mean, I was watching on the phone. But
hear what I'm saying.
To answer your question, though.
Leaders of the new school.
My bad.
Leaders of the new school. I'm going to get back to you, Smoke, because I still have it logged. The Leaders of the New School was a known group, right?
Right.
But what hit did they have prior to combining with the Scenario? What hit did they have?
They did have. That wasn't, first of all, Scenario was not Leaders of the New School.
No, it was Tribe Called Quest.
And the Jungle Brother. It was a lot of those members. Right.
What I'm saying, though.
Okay. So they had another case of that.
Rhymes,
OPTA.
Yes.
LONS had good records. Busta Rhymes stood out. They did have hits.
Name one.
PTA.
Listen, you gonna give Busta Rhymes his flowers.
I gave you damn right. I'm gonna give Busta Rhymes his flowers. But I'm saying,
well, ultimately, he's saying he's one that could fit into every category, kind of like Crazy.
I'm not saying he's not, but the question was,
he's explaining.
What's
He
the
said
difference between him and Jay-Z.
You said it's Jay-Z street cred.
I said Jay-Z comes out with an album that talks about his entire existence up until the point he put out his album.
The difference between them is just in Jay-Z and his raps, like I just hear a story. I could picture a whole story. Like he's more of a storyteller. And it's not to say like, you know, Busta don't have great stuff, but I picture a story. Like he's really particular with his word selection and his wordplay. That I don't see with Busta, and it doesn't take away from me still believing Busta is a great artist.
I mean, as far as their hit records, like, so the known songs that you know, like that they put on the forefront, it's this is your album promoting single. You don't get the storytelling aspect from Busta Rhymes,
right?
And all of his hits.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's a fair synopsis. I'm not going to argue that he does have storytelling songs in his arsenal, but his mainstream songs, like you said, he's known for being the character or being the animated one or whatnot. So, and you're saying Jay-Z is the difference. Was my question? What is the separation between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z? And
Jay-Z was selling his real story. From the dirt too.
Busta Rhymes was selling his story,
but he did it in an animated way where Jay-Z didn't. He did it more finessed, and it was more acceptable to the masses to accept it from this, especially when he took his fortune.
I mean, I kind of agree with him because that's like that for me because his mainstream stuff is what got me to listen to his other work.
Busta Rhymes or Jay-Z?
Yeah. Busta Rhymes, because like he's saying, Jay-Z been like that his whole career, like when coming straight out the gate. So Busta shit, like it had to, you like had to get the album and hear like his other stuff that wasn't mainstream for me to hear that from
what's
him.
The first song? What's the first song? And I'm not talking about with the group. What's the first song that you know Busta Rhymes from?
Me or the rest of the masses?
For the rest of the masses?
Everybody. The first song everybody would say is Woo Ha, because they play Woo Ha on there.
No, now hold on, stop right there. I want you to do just the one. Now let's do Jay-Z's first song. What's Jay-Z's first song that you know of?
Ain't no woman like the one I got.
Nope.
That was when I first seen.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm
talking about for the masses.
Right. I don't know, because I was not there at the beginning. Now I went back and listened to everything, but I don't know what the wave was.
But then that explains it for you, because like
but that
you
was because
and how
of Nas.
you introduced Busta Rhymes was like
it doesn't matter if it was because of Nas. The fact is, Dead Presidents, if you listen to the song,
that's
what she's saying is that whole story in there.
But that's what everybody listens.
Versus Busta Rhymes, Woo Ha.
Busta Rhymes, It's a Party with Jeanne.
How long? What album was that?
That was the first one. That was On the Coming. It's a party. Let's get it on tonight. It was a party record, and it had Jeanne on it. Busta Rhymes and Jeanne on his first album. That was his single, along with Woo Ha. Everybody caught on the Woo Ha because it was just a little bit more catchier.
It was.
But
so y'all didn't get on to Busta until The Coming?
No, that's not what we're saying.
That's not what nobody did. No, we're talking about the difference. I said the question was, what's the difference between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z? What makes the difference? Because we're talking about GOAT, and Muda said that you mentioned Bone, and I said that you was a boneologist. Then we went to spilling into what makes the difference of a GOAT. So you can cover, because I know you got a lot of bone knowledge to give. So
super.
I think that the GOAT is kind of a term that don't make sense. Right. I believe that you could be a GOAT. I believe you could be a GOAT of wordsmithing. I believe you could be a GOAT of storytelling. You could be a GOAT of, you know what I mean? But to have one GOAT, and if you're asking like why do I choose Bone? Is that what you're saying?
No, we were asking, the question was the difference in the GOAT, because now what you saying that, so
yeah, I believe there's different GOATs, like, and
in different categories.
As far as the difference between Jay and Busta that I've always seen, I mean, besides the obvious, energy on the song, you know what I'm saying? Subject matter for the most part. So Jay raps, you know what I'm saying, to explain and impress, you know what I'm saying, where Busta, you know what I'm saying, kind of draws everything around impressing the listener. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's music. So who's focusing more on the point?
Ultimately, we all like Busta, but now
your question was the difference between them.
Yeah.
Right, so the difference between them, but like ultimately, I get why like you didn't want us, like when we said like the major difference between the two, like you were introduced to a different version of Busta than we were originally.
Everybody, and that's the same thing with everybody in music, because if you go, everybody has their own catalog or their own playlist in their mind to put their person at the top of their favorite songs. So that's what I'm saying. How do you get an even kill on it? Because everybody talks about Jay-Z as far as being a GOAT. Everybody talks about LL as far as being a GOAT, right?
Well, he lasted 40 years.
Busta Rhymes ain't pushing.
Busta is a GOAT.
You know what I'm saying? He don't get an Iron Man.
But it's not one GOAT.
But that's what I'm saying. We're not taking. Nobody's taking away from Busta Rhymes. We're not saying that. But I think she.
What we need to do is add.
The way she said what she said was, I can see that for you, and then that's when you kind of triggered. Because she was just mentioning that Busta Rhymes, she could see that for you. I could see why, because of your character. I see why Busta Rhymes is that for you.
Where in Busta's career you were introduced to him, you were introduced to a more authentic version of Busta. Whereas when I got introduced to Busta, it was more the character of him, and then I had to listen to his music.
Right.
So I get
why who Busta Rhymes was when Jay-Z come out
when I got introduced to Jay-Z.
I'm that nigga that been in the street.
That's a character all in his own too. Jay-Z was a character also.
But he's not. That's the point. That's what Jay-Z's niche is.
I didn't feel that even like listening to other songs of him.
Day one.
As a character, that's
who he was. That's not a character. That's who Jay-Z was. That's who he was.
That's what I'm saying. But then are you saying that Busta Rhymes was not who he was?
He was animated. I've seen.
What is the difference in being animated and not? If you're an artist and you're creating content for somebody, you're creating project songs or however you do it. You are a character in that moment. When The Rock was coming on, wasn't a big flashy. We got the whips that nobody's ever seen. We the crew that's holding it down. We also out here in the street. We also shining, but we making big business.
Okay,
that is a character.
So the difference. All right, so follow this one. Before Bad Boy, what was Mace's name?
Murder Mace.
Exactly. Murder Mace. And then for this nigga to be in a shiny suit.
Yes.
Well, that was Diddy's thing anyway. You know,
but the point I'm trying to get at,
you got to put that to everybody.
But
because
the point
he did all them niggas like that. He did the Warlocks.
That's my point. The whole
That's
thing
the
is
whole character you're talking about.
He built that persona for them. Jay-Z didn't build a persona. He was him selling himself to the masses. That's the difference.
Right, but he still had to be a character for the entertainment.
If
because
he
when he went in,
that character ain't changed up.
From day 1 to day 9,456.
Like Jay-Z's just an elevated version of himself.
Yes, he has.
Busta Rhymes has been himself since the beginning.
I will say that Jay has remained mad consistent in his character.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Busta Rhymes has been consistent in his character.
Uh-uh.
When has Busta Rhymes switched? Busta Rhymes has came out and
The one with Janet Jackson, bro, that's a completely different Busta Rhymes than.
It's not. It is a part of his character. It is a part of his character.
But I'm saying, if it's that much smoke, what you just said, he's evolving, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so is he evolving into a smoother, less animated, more song driven? Because
does Jay-Z still flip and tongue flip like Jazzo used to?
I'm just saying, like.
No, that's what I said.
Heard Busta. What was the joint he had Mariah Carey? The "Baby, if you give it to me."
Yeah,
I give it to you.
Like, I mean, I've heard call him Busta, but one thing about Busta, I can't call him a character no more than I can call Jay a character, because every time I've seen Busta outside of being on an actual song, he the same nigga. He talk the same as he rap. He act the same as he rap. You know what I'm saying? Like.
But I'm saying the difference.
You said street cred earlier. You said his street cred, and that's why
I
both of them got
both
street
of them
cred.
got street cred straight.
Yeah, but I'm saying in the manner of Jay-Z's street cred is a street nigga anthem, dude. Street niggas. That's Busta Rhymes probably has that. But when he came out, he didn't come out for the street niggas. Busta Rhymes came out as a solo artist. I'm not talking about what the leaders of the new school. He came out as a enlightened,
and he came
out as an enlightened.
He made music for street niggas and for the club and for people to kick shit over.
Came out
and
by
for
himself.
squads.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But with leaders of the new school, he was a part of the what's the name of the movement? The flower power with the De La Soul, the Jungle Brothers, all them. They came out with the this is backpack rap. That's kind of what they came out as.
But
backpack rap.
That's all it was at that time. Hear what I'm saying?
Who came out around the same time?
No, we talking about early 93, 94?
No, Jay. What year's Reasonable Doubt?
That's what I'm saying. Hip hop at that point in time
should have been 96, if I'm not mistaken.
96. Busta Rhymes dropped The Coming in 96. In 96, that was his first solo.
Actually, it should have been 95, because I remember on the album he said it was 5 years left.
Right, it was 5 years left.
Yes,
95. So at that
he
point in
must have
time,
recorded it in 95.
everybody was backpack rapping. Everybody was backpack rapping around that time.
Reasonable Doubt comes out June 25th, 1996.
When did Paid in Full come out with Rakim?
Oh, that was 86.
Okay, Big Daddy Kane. Hey, Ain't No Half Step.
That was 87.
Oh, yeah, going back.
Big Daddy Kane,
because you talking about backpack, like backpack. What you would say backpack
Rakim
rap?
is not backpack
early
rap.
90s. He was not. He was street rap. But again,
Cool G rap. Big Daddy Kane, Kool Moe Dee was a completely different lane of people.
So now let me go ahead and say Rakim. He came out. Would you say he's changed? Because he went from a street rap to a more educated rap.
All of them just have evolved in their time frame. So it's just
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
Why I said
for
the beginning.
Busta.
That's why I say the Genesis. I go and I'm gonna say I'm gonna use a play on Busta Rhymes' album. the genesis, because at the beginning of his solo career, keep that in mind, we're not talking about Busta Rhymes from the leader of the new school. He's not the same person.
Genesis was like his third or fourth album.
But I'm Rhymes' solo career.
Yes.
He came out.
He got no ability to rap about the street. And I'm the only group member who raps about the street, but the other two are rapping about daisies. Then what does that make the song? So you fit in. But then when he got his opportunity to be a solo artist, he gave you the full-fledged Busta Rhymes.
But he did that. What I'm saying is he became that person on Scenario.
He was already. Scenario was just because
to show that he always been a solo artist.
He always been a beast. But
to show that he was a solo artist.
That didn't say that he changed. He just got an opportunity to create his own music. Like I said, you got to give every artist an opportunity to grow.
Agreed. I'm with you on that. I'm not taking anything away from Busta Rhymes. I'm telling you, I'm not. My point is,
you saying he changed.
No, the way he produced and introduced himself to the world is a different persona than
it was a different time. But you're saying, are you saying because of that is why Jay-Z is held at a higher esteem as Busta Rhymes?
That's not the reason why.
But that's the reason. That's the point that he brought up.
But what I'm saying is the way that Prince Raheem, that's the RZA, ain't it?
Okay. The RZA was who before he was the RZA?
RZA the SZA. I love them both.
So what's your point? Does that mean that RZA should be any less?
But to the masses,
the GOAT.
But to the masses, listen to what I'm saying. To the masses, Prince Raheem was known by maybe 50 to 100,000 people, as opposed to when Wu-Tang Clan dropped and the RZA came out, who was known to millions of people. There's a big difference, and now people look at you.
Same thing with Busta Rhymes. I'm telling you, you got to give him that same benefit of a doubt.
So when he came out and he's Scenario, because most people know Busta Rhymes from our area around that time, they know Busta Rhymes from Scenario.
Right, but that wasn't the first time he was around.
To who he was on the first time you heard him, and listen to Reasonable Doubt, and listen to what Jay-Z is saying in Dead Presidents.
And I'm gonna keep it short. I'm gonna keep it short so we don't stay on it too long.
What you mean?
If you go and listen to Busta Rhymes spitting when he was with Leaders of the New School, he did not change anything with his delivery, his flow. He just gave you more subject matter because, again, he was 18, 19 when he was with Leaders of the New School. They were still high school kids. When he got opportunity to become a solo artist, he gave you his full-fledged of him, and he was still a kid. So does that mean he was holding back with LONS, or does that mean he became a whole new artist when he got a solo opportunity?
I think that he became a different artist when he became Busta Rhymes from outside of the group, because listening to interviews, Busta Rhymes always had to contain himself so he wasn't bigger than the group. Always.
Okay.
So once he left the group, he was allowed to be Busta Rhymes now, which when
allowed
he got
to be. Y'all heard what he said. Y'all hear what he said. Allowed to be. My whole point is Busta Rhymes is a GOAT.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Yeah, we
didn't disagree with you on that point at all.
But the conversation isn't had in GOATism because, again, we said Smoke is a boneologist.
Yeah, you said Smoke is a boneologist.
In a different category. As I said, like there are GOATs for each different type of category. It's not just a GOAT of rap. Because there's different versions and styles of rap. Busta and his longevity in his career, like he's an absolute beast. We just were introduced to him at different times, and for me, how I remember in that time frame, like back when I guess Biggie and Tupac were like really, really big mainstream wise, and Busta was in there, he was just in a group. I didn't see his artistry until he was not in the group. By that time, Jay-Z was already out.
Right.
So that's just how I view it in that way. But I love both of them. Yeah. They're both from New York, and they're both great artists.
Right.
The fact is, I can quote more of Busta Rhymes' first album than I can Jay-Z. Why? Because I liked his character. I saw my brother in Jay-Z. I already knew that life.
You didn't like his character. It was still character, but you didn't like his character.
As a child, yes, it was character. I'll say that as a child, yes, it was character. But then as I got older and I go back and listen to him, there's no character. That's the same man that he is now.
Yes.
He stood on his same square since day one.
Right.
So what I'm saying is the character that Busta Rhymes gave me as a kid, it was like, yo, he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He's fun to watch.
It was like him in
his
the videos.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what it was. Him and
fun
Missy
to
in
watch.
that time.
Right.
So watching Busta Rhymes, like you idolized this guy because of what he was.
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z showed you the side of life that you did not want to be a part of.
But even like, look, okay, Jay-Z has now grown locks.
Mm-hmm.
He is now being the person that he always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not think he was a character the whole time?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. He's been the street.
What his locks got to do with it?
No, his locks have a lot to do because it is a way of expression. It's not a bad thing. What I'm saying is, Jay-Z.
I think that's just the way that he physically expressed himself, but it's like how he physically looked. Yeah, that was the image, and that was
that's
the
his
character.
spirituality. No, that's him and his spirituality. Him growing his hair is a spiritual journey now,
right?
Because he has now connected himself to his spirit.
He's
before
like,
he
okay,
didn't.
why he didn't do it before? And I'm like, he wasn't connected to his spirituality, but then also like, yeah, that might be part of the character. Like Jay-Z was like, for me, like he really was handsome when he was younger. Like he still is. No. You know, like Jay-Z.
Hey, claim it. Stand on your square, sis.
Right.
Stand on your square.
Saying, nah, Beyonce. I'm a huge Beyonce fan.
So you saying it's not the face, it's his wallet, but it is his face and his wallet.
I'm not saying none of that. Like
he said,
it's just like he
Beyonce
said, like
said
when Busta, for me watching Busta videos, it was like a whole character. Like I really wanted to watch the videos.
Right.
Whereas like when I would listen to Jay-Z stuff, like I would just sit and listen. Like it wasn't.
He was making movies.
Right. Like
Busta Rhymes was making cartoons.
And as he was rapping, like I could picture what he was saying and everything. It didn't matter if it was in a video or not. Whereas like if I heard a Busta song, it was just like, oh, I remember that from the video, and I would just be animated from what I remembered in the video.
And I understand that, and I'm not here to get into the deepness of, but that's why I say listening to lyrics, because okay, not to say that I'm the overall person to go to about rap or who's the greatest, but when you got characters, it is a business.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's here to entertain.
You don't know it at that time.
I know, but Jay-Z was entertaining in the way that they thought, because again, in New York at that time, if you're selling dope, everybody had to have the biggest chain or have the freshest gear.
Yeah.
So he pushed that character. That is not, and he lived it because he had the money and the funds to do it. Everybody else couldn't be that character.
Right.
Now you don't see him talking about, we got money and big jewels in the car, like the joint he did with JD, Money in the Thing. Jay-Z would not do that same song or same video today.
But once again,
he was being a character.
Remember, yes
that's
and
all
no.
part of the marketing stuff that he's talking about.
But wait, yes and no, because think about this. Quest 5 years ago didn't own the business. You move differently when you own the business.
Right.
Okay, so now Jay-Z owns the business. Well, he owned it before, but it was stake between him and other people.
He played a character to hold that stake.
I don't think it was playing a character. He literally was who he was. He just started rapping about who he was.
Yes.
That's not a character. That's your whole existence. If you start talking about and you become the illest basketball rapper ever, and you start talking about your basketball career, you're not playing a character. You're playing who you used to be.
Yes, but
you're portraying it in real life.
He not holding. Jay-Z, when he first started, would hold money up to his head. Right. He would do the $1 million cone fall.
I don't know.
Money ain't a thing. With Jermaine Dupri, they were flashing money, big pimping.
In his mind, he's like, okay, we still doing it. We was doing that back then. Like, whereas, like he said, you got ownership in different things now. Like,
but no,
he been trying to teach you.
What I think where his point is about to go is he said, holding money to your ear. We don't call that money over here.
Right.
But that's a flip on the lyric, though.
Even
I know,
now,
but
Jay is still. He still be stunting though, niggas. It's just
right.
He
but
just
he's
found a different way to do it.
But he was stunting like that
Exactly.
even from the get go. Memphis Bleak said that Jay-Z was the type to have this money organized. Everything was neat. So I'm not saying that he was a character. When he started rapping, he then implemented that character and accentuated that character. But he wasn't the big flashy type. The interview you see with Jay-Z, where they say this is the point where he knew he was done with The Rock, because Dame Dash in the front, he's the character. He looks like the Busta Rhymes in the front. Dame Dash is the talker. Jay-Z back here like, all this shit don't mean anything. I'm trying to build I'm trying to build an empire. So us flossing about this one show, about this one money, about this one tour, about this one thing, does not mean a hill of bean right now.
Right.
So he created a character with all of the flashing and the flossy and all of that talk in the rap. Right now, what you see as Jay-Z is the same Jay-Z he was when he was young. Now he's just in a position where he can be Young Hov. He can be Young Hov right now.
But I'm not even gonna talk about the new thing that he just dropped because I heard it, but I still
with Khaled.
Yeah, but
I ain't heard the verse yet. Khaled been bigging it as if it's the biggest verse in the world.
But that's what they're gonna do.
I said that's what Khaled gonna do.
That's what they're gonna do. But once again, if anything, that's the character. That's the character that he built.
That's Khaled's character.
Jay-Z was Hov. Hov is the character, not Jay-Z. That's an alter ego. You understand where I'm at?
I do.
So Jay-Z and Sean Carter to me are the exact same person.
Hov is a beast.
Hov
gonna lyrically eat you up.
Right.
Yes, but Hov was going to intertwine, but he's Hov because he's who he is rap wise.
He's Hov because he is Jay-Z.
So who the fuck is Jigga?
That's that flashy nigga who was in the car with JD who was talking about some money and a thing.
Those are the characters. That's what I'm saying.
But that's why
Busta Rhymes has been
the wording you said
more
was
animated.
But the wording you said was Jay-Z.
Yes.
Give me an AKA for Busta Rhymes.
He is Busta Rhymes and has been Busta Rhymes the whole time. Busta Rhymes.
So Jay-Z is always Jay-Z. Who can bust a bus, right? Who can branch off. We'll do the multiverse. There's his line, and then he can branch off and be Hov. He can branch off and be, but he's always still a part of the main.
That's a lot of characters. We're talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
We talking about introduction because Muda did say when she said I met Busta Rhymes at a different juncture. Everybody met Jay-Z, Busta Rhymes at a different junctures, but at the juncture that you met them at as a youth or whatever, that was a character that you met because again, it was what you were more appeased to. Busta Rhymes was the more appeasing artist because he gave you a show, gave you the energy. He brought to you different ideas. Brought to you different ideas and a full show on that. So when he did videos with Hype Williams, he was definitely giving you, this is like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson ain't never going there as himself as Joe beat me. He ain't never, Michael Jackson never made a video.
No, he didn't. But he said, "Have you seen my childhood?"
But Prince,
have you seen my childhood?
That was just asking you, have you seen what was happening to me as a child? He didn't go in there and say, yo, this is this, but he did express
Prince
sentiment.
But so would you say Prince is the Jay-Z and Michael Jackson was the Busta Rhymes of R&B?
Entertainer wise, if you want to compare the two, I would say because Prince
told the absolute truth and was him. I will die for you.
But that's not. But once again, Prince ain't no character then.
I know.
So then Jay-Z ain't no character.
But Michael Jackson is the character.
But Busta Rhymes is the character, and that's what I'm.
Michael.
But his character is him. He is. Busta Rhymes is a character. The character.
I've never seen Busta Rhymes in an interview acting like he does on a song.
What do you mean? Every time he talk on Drink Champs, he is the same person, energetic, vocal commanding, being straightforward. He gives you some vernacular that you might not understand, not you, but you as in the listeners, because he's actually telling the story. When you listen to Busta Rhymes, he's telling the story, but it's depending on how you listen to. And again, it's not that suave, aficionado type of way of delivering it. He can do that too, but he gives you more in your face energy. So
I guess that is ultimately it. It's just delivery of it.
I'm telling you, he got smooth one too.
He's still a great to me.
I'm gonna have to post my Quran's playlist of Busta Rhymes songs, so you can do your own.
I
just sent Decision. Right, Decision had comment on it. Mary J. Blige, John Legend, and Jamie Foxx.
All right, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
It all started with a vision, a hustle, a grind, discipline, dedication, faith, and loyalty. sophisticated savage. The brand. The lifestyle. It's just different.
Hi, welcome to the Juicy Crab. Come on in.
Yo, Jay.
Whoa, Roscoe. Long time no see, dude.
Been busy. What's up, though? You got some bud?
Of course, dude. I might be swimming, but I'm not drowning, man. I remember you still owe me $30.
Yeah, about that.
Dude, don't even worry about it, man.
Word. Just let me get like a gram or something.
I got you, bro. You want some California grandpa food? Or you want the Brokeback Mountain?
Give me that California shit. I don't want no Brokeback nothing, nigga.
Going to a different direction.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have finished the journey.
I want to say something. Myself as an artist, I really get the growth because there was a time period when I was I'm writing about Lexuses and Beamers and all this stuff and pop and all this stuff that I wasn't doing. And then as I got older, I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I'm not doing any of these things. So I had to say the same exact thing, but I had to use it metaphorically. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me busting 16 caps out of my clip, now I'm busting 16 shots lyrically, you know what I'm saying, bar for bar. So, you know what I'm saying? I think it's just all in the matter of growth as you get older. You just start putting things into perspective.
Yeah, because Jay said that at one point he was like, I could have bought a building for like $2 million. That same building today is like 25 million. Guess how I'm feeling? Dumbo. Like, and that's the place where the name of that place is called Dumbo. Mm-hmm. And so if he didn't invest, if instead of buying all the V12 engines, cars that he bought that has no value, at the time he didn't realize that real estate had value like that because he was a street nigga who knew what value was. Yo, take this and take that. That's value. That building ain't really value. So to watch that man grow into who he's grown into, he's learned the game and applied.
Right.
But that's what he said in his first album. I learned the game, I applied. I learned the game, I applied. I learned the game, I applied. The difference between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z. Jay-Z did that. Busta Rhymes is still making songs. Where is he bossing shit?
He's bossing his own shit. Just because he's not doing, and again, you can level up to wherever you want. Everybody's saying Power or Snowfall or whatever. You can choose what stop to get off on the level of success.
Yeah.
You can sell you an ounce and be, hey, I'm good with moving an ounce a week, or I want to move a pound. And I'm just talking street talk, drug talk, and relation. Or you can sell a case of water, or you can say, hey, I want to sell a truckload of water this week. So it's no difference. It's just you decide what you want to own. That's why I say.
But I think the difference is Jay-Z is actually a student of the game.
Yeah.
Right. And a knowledge applied is his outcome of being the student of the game and learning the game.
Paid his dues.
But he paid his dues in that manner, and then he went and learned something new and paid his dues in that, and then learned something new and paid his dues in that. And now he's getting paid for everything that he's learned in it.
But everybody didn't come in like
why he's a billionaire.
Busta Rhymes was in the industry already. There were already contracts and paperwork signed. So the point in where Jay-Z came in and learned and what he was doing is like, yeah, if you got a big crew and we're able to generate that type of money, then yeah, you can make those moves to, all right, now we want to expand. Now we want to look at something else to do. Just like always.
I mean, in terms of longevity, I understand definitely what you're saying, because Jay-Z cannot come out with an album for years and then come out with a song, and not even a whole song, just a verse on somebody else.
Yeah, and it be.
It's just
right.
So it's not something like he has other avenues
that
he's
exclusivity. If he's exclusive, right? But that's something that he learned. So with him being the
other rappers and you know how they managing their money, they don't have, you know, the luxury to do that. He has the luxury to do that with his other business ventures. So I don't necessarily know if he has other things going on.
Yeah.
But just the fact that he's been around for so long, like makes Busta for me a great.
And the thing about Bus is Bus will go get on the song. Bus does not have any exclusivity because he loves the art of being an artist.
Right. Jay-Z said every album he's done was his last album.
This is true.
And again, that can be a marketing tool. It could have been exactly how he felt, but then he just recently said in the interview with Kevin Hart that Kevin Hart asked me, he said, "Well, are you done? Are you retired?" He was like, "Yeah, I'm retired." But then no, because if I do decide to create something, it might necessarily not be an album, musical, whatever. It is going to be an expression of his art, because now Jay-Z is in a position to where he is an artist. Andre 3000 just said the same thing. He's creating. He loves to create. If he's not creating, then he's not in a happy place because he's not doing what he's doing. So
then let me put this parallel then. Is Busta Rhymes a master's degree or a doctorate?
As far as when it comes to the industry, or you
like if you had to relate that in terms of like students in school and colleges, like how would you do that?
I think he's a dropout.
You think Busta would be a
dropout? He dropped out at 17.
Not in real life.
He did. In real life, Busta Rhymes dropped out of high school.
But listen, just run the parallel.
But
so he didn't go. So you're saying he didn't go to college at all?
He did not go to college.
Okay,
because
so
he was in the game. He did not have. He was getting hands-on experience in the game.
Then there we go again. School. He was School of Hard Knocks.
Right.
Okay, so Jay-Z was School of Hard Knocks too.
Right.
But he learned that over there has something that he could get that would further his career.
Jay-Z graduated from the university and then went and started teaching at the university.
Right. So then
doesn't okay.
So did at that point did the school pay back
what's older
Jay-Z's loans? Did they pay his loans?
No, he paid them and then invested into that system to become a dean. So I consider Jay-Z a dean of the college if we're talking about it in that.
Then there's the difference between Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z. You said that. I didn't say that.
But it does not make one better or...
No, I'm not saying better.
No, I'm saying better or worse because, again, they're both GOATs. Like, Jay-Z is the dean. KRS-One is teaching in the class and dealing directly with students. So which one is more important? The one who has an effective, direct...
They're all important to the overall culture.
That's what I'm saying.
School.
Yeah, I think we all on the same page. But talking about student, kids and school and everything, I think we wanted to touch on...
Loan forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Joe Biden just trying to try. Did he sign it into, or is it on his desk?
Yo, we got a video that we want to show.
Tell us what's going on.
Oh, okay.
President Biden's move on student loans providing debt relief to millions of Americans. Well, the president was in Maryland yesterday touting this plan as he continues to get pushback from both sides of the aisle now. ABC News congressional correspondent Rachel Scott joins me now from Washington with more. So since announcing this plan, Rachel, you know, Americans pretty much have been scrambling to figure out whether they'll qualify or not. So what is the White House saying about how long it will take before people can start to feel the impact?
Yeah, Kieran, we are really getting new information in on this. And so this is really important for people who do qualify, who earn $125,000 or less that want to see their student loan debt be canceled. So for about 8 million people, you won't have to do anything at all. The Department of Education already has your income information. Your debt will be cleared. But for other people, this is about probably 43 million other people, you'll have to go on to a website, studentaid.gov. We are just learning moments ago, the White House announced that they'll be launching applications in early October and that borrowers can then expect relief within 4 to 6 weeks. Now, the other important date that people want to keep in mind here is November 15th. The administration is saying that if you go online and submit this application, if you qualify by November 15th, then you should see your debt either canceled or shrink down before that student loan moratorium resumes at the beginning of the year. So really important dates for people to remember: October to go online and fill out that form, and then November 15th.
All right, well, Biden has clearly been on a roll lately. According to 538, his approval rating has ticked up over 4% since July 21st. What do you think this means for midterms? And Rachel, have things actually changed for the president?
You know, the president has really had a string of legislative victories when it comes to passing the CHIPS bill in Congress, getting that signed into law. We know the gun safety bill that was signed, historic gun safety bill, the first time that Democrats and Republicans have agreed on that type of legislation in some 30 years, not to mention the bipartisan infrastructure package and then the Inflation Reduction Act. I could tell you that these are the sort of legislative victories that vulnerable Democrats who are running in these very tight races have wanted to see. This is what they want to campaign on. But at this point, I could tell you this announcement on canceling the student loan debt, this is getting very mixed reviews. You have most Democrats praising the president for making this move. Obviously, progressives like Elizabeth Warren, even Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was personally pleading with the president to cancel even more than $10,000. But then you do have some vulnerable Democrats running in these very, very tight races. You have Congressman Tim Ryan, who's running for Senate in Ohio. He says that this sends the wrong message to Americans without a degree who are struggling to make ends meet. And so right now, it really remains to be seen what impact this is going to have on some of these Democrats that are running in these tight races that are really trying to edge out their Republican opponents.
All right, Rachel Scott, a lot more to follow straight ahead. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, so let me say this real quick.
Yep.
Here's the skinny. He just signed the not the infrastructure bill, but the Inflation Reduction Act that he just signed. And now he's considering signing this. And a lot of economists say that this is going to be counterproductive to the so-called Inflation Reduction Bill. There are economists on both sides who say that, yes, this is going to cost taxpayers more money. The White House is saying, well, we don't know that yet. We have to see how many people are going to enroll. It's not hard to do the math on it. If you calculate everybody who you think, everybody who's in debt, that's the number that you start with. And then that'll tell you, hey, this is the number that we start with. So at anything, it's going to be less. It's going to be this or less. But the fact that they're saying that, hey, we don't know how much it's going to cost taxpayers until everybody signs up on the website, and then they'll have their numbers, is just straight BS to me.
Well, because I think they already know that everybody not going to show up to vote. Or let's put it that way. Everybody not going to register. Everybody's not going to be able to. Everybody's not going to physically be able to. There's going to be ways. It's a lot of deterrence for getting the accurate count on it. So,
I think, let me jump in real quick. I think that based on the amount of people who are already in school, the number he's actually saying that you have a baseline. If you already know how many students have enrolled in school from this year to this year, you know how many student loans have been taken out. So you know that dollar amount. You can calculate that dollar amount.
You can, but
you can run an average on that dollar amount.
Yeah, but that's going to be way more than, because when I see stuff like this, and again, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but he's doing that in order for something else to be done, correct?
Right. It's alleged that this is just a way of rewarding people for their votes during for this upcoming midterm.
Very much so, because the baseline in is Pell Grant. Like that's it. Like there's still the whole rest of the balance.
Right. There's a game afoot.
It's like Pell Grants are like free money, quote unquote. Like it's.
But is it free money?
Right. There you go.
Ain't nothing free, because again, it's going to cost you a vote. It was going to cost you sign up for something. So I wish I'd have went to school in Maryland. I wish I'd have signed up and took those classes.
Now, I think
that's only applicable for Maryland.
No, I think it's for the country. But he was in Maryland. No, he was in Maryland trying to get the people in Maryland to kind of, Biden's doing something for us. We'll vote for him. Come up.
Oh wow.
I'm from Maryland.
I think that's what that is.
Wow.
But I do feel
my vote. But
I do feel I don't know. I used to have a student loan that was coming out. I was being garnished.
Yeah, I appreciate Zate 78 chiming in saying that it's not their benefit to reveal that, and I absolutely agree.
Absolutely,
this is true.
Absolutely.
And then what is the White House Twitter page? They start calling out all of the left side people who like got PP loan forgiveness that are in,
and they are there are RICO charges coming up against you PPP loan folks.
Right.
Too.
So they start calling out people for them type of loans that were saying like, hey, like these people shouldn't be receiving this type of money to forgive their loans. It's like, hey, you receive money to forgive your PPP loan.
It's a lot of game. I mean,
it really
it's good.
is.
I definitely think it should be free to get educated, because the cost of education is a deterrent to a lot of people for going to school.
Education and healthcare.
Is that really the deterrent? Is it money? I'm a student on my own accord. I'm not a student because I went to college, and I went to college multiple times. School is not for me. I can self-learn, so I can self-learn a lot of stuff without somebody over my head telling me or directing me in my path.
Right.
I learned how to do everything I know how to do on this computer.
Right.
By just working in it.
Right. But we're talking about in the system that we're in order for you to advance. And I'm just going to touch on, in order for Jay-Z to become the dean of the college, he has to go through the curriculum of the college.
But do you know, but I'm supposed to be, as a GM of the establishment, I'm supposed to have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know. But if somebody.
But why though?
But again, why don't you, or
why do I need it? Why do I need?
Because that is what the system has set up for you to do.
But I don't have one, is what I'm saying.
I know, but if someone comes,
where does that? What do you call that?
You don't necessarily have to have one nowadays. It's like
because your experience
equals to this amount of experience. You just got out of college learning.
Right.
This person, has applied all of these things that I need.
Right. But they also have policies set up to, if something happens and let's just say, God forbid, you don't meet up to the expectation, you could be doing a great job. But if you don't do something and they want to go back and say, he's missing this credential, it is something that they can call in.
Could.
Right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. In order for you to play the game as clean as possible, you want to go.
That's what they're supposed to figure out in the interview process. You don't figure that out, that's your fault.
Yeah, but we talking about school, because the whole point is, why would you go to school, or why would you not
to be forgiven in the first place?
Yeah. Like for me, I know
because
that
it's just, overall it's drilled in our heads. But to his point, a lot of our generation has degrees, and we're now working jobs that has nothing to do with what we went to college for.
Which is why I think he's doing this forgiveness thing.
Exactly,
So,
because it's like
I wanted to get to that point, but you brought it up. I
There you
think
go.
I think that the majority of the people who have these bogus ass degrees have a lot of bogus debt, and they're working someplace else to pay for the loan that they went to school for. Like, that's some bullshit. Like, I went to school for culinary arts. I'm still in my field.
And they also need more people in the workforce currently right now. So we don't have time for you to go to school for 4 years. You need to be in the workforce to, all the economy and the way that it's been destroyed the last few years. We need you in the workforce. That's kind of tied into what we're doing with the whole.
What'd you go to school for?
Technology. But I'm in IT.
But you're in it.
Yeah, I'm in it. But
that's what I'm saying.
I did everything else before I got
you got into it.
Yeah.
But how many people can say, besides like educators, because an educator needs an educator needs a degree to be there. So those kinds of jobs, doctors, they need.
You need to travel.
But even for me in IT
but the amount of money that they on the interview, the amount of money was what?
What?
$20K for Pell Grant and $10K for non-Pell Grant.
But seeing that kind of ties into what I just stated. Like, I didn't even need my degree. And now in IT, you really don't need that degree.
No, because experience is, it's a certification.
Yeah, certification is everything you could take. So you really don't even need what you think you need at that time. But of course, when you're younger.
What I did graduate from was massage therapy school.
So this student loan
that.
forgiveness, what class of people do you think it benefits the most?
Come on, man. We already know this the lower class people.
Did you
It would
just
be the
ask
lower
that?
class people.
You gonna make it?
Because,
Somebody
if
said
you make more money, you're probably paying for college.
more than the middle class and the upper
What
class.
middle class?
Yeah, the middle class is part of the
what I'm
lower
saying.
class. It's either you in the higher
There's
party.
no
or not.
middle class, bro. It's lower class and it's high class. That's it.
When it
That's
comes
it. It's
to how
gone.
you're
Middle class is
applying
gone.
for
This is
college.
going to benefit the. I don't think it's going to benefit the lower class at all.
No, it's not going to. But that's
Who
the
would it benefit?
appeal. No, that's the appeal because how many people who actually have college degrees are making over $125,000?
I thought it said if you made underneath that.
But his point is, who is it going to benefit? If I make $125,000 a year and up, am I really struggling to pay that student debt?
Right.
No, I'm not.
That's not even a debt
But
to you.
that's what I'm saying. So no, it's not benefiting them. It's supposed to benefit. It's supposed to make it look like it's benefiting the person who makes less than 125,000, which is considered middle class. But there is none. That's gone.
These are all triggering questions because I'm like, there is
Right, because even for 125,000,
exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to trigger some shit.
There's no.
He's trying to get to a dialogue.
I mean, it helps people, but again, that's why I say I look past that top layer. Like most people, like, oh, good, they about to forgive debt, and I'm like, nah, it's the timing that he's doing it. It's
Yeah.
what
That
he's
money
doing it
doesn't
for,
go
what he's
poof.
looking for.
That money just doesn't go poof away.
No.
Somebody's going to have to pay.
Somebody gonna eat it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Somebody
that's
gonna eat
us.
it.
That's
Gas
us.
and the whole nine.
That's hyper clear. That's Canty.
Enterprises.
Yeah. That's Paramotor Visuals.
Uh-huh.
Muda, your sister. You know what I'm saying? Like all of us. Like we're gonna have to pay into that.
Right.
I don't have the benefit of that.
But
I'm paying. I'm going to end up paying for it.
So to go back to your question, who benefits is the hierarchy again, because they have the way that they have the system, the higher level. We're at the lower level. They have a system siphoned in to take the gas from the lower level and make it look like they're helping us. They're not helping us because unless you say that all this tax money is going to go into these lower income hoods and fix up these streets and fix up these neighborhoods, then I don't see it really benefiting anybody on our side. They're going to tax the hell out of us and then say, well, we're going to give you more breaks and this and that, when it's not offsetting anything. It's just leaving us in the position to where we got to be out here struggling.
It's
so
just ultimately, they're just reshuffling money.
It's not a complaint. I'm just telling y'all got to be smart about how y'all move and what you do. Like, again, I fully agree. You don't need a degree to do anything on this planet. Anything on this planet. The fact that education is so expensive, why it is a deterrent for people to go through that system is because they like, damn me going to school and investing all this time and doing this, and there's no guarantee at the end. Right. I'd rather try to get cash in hand. I'd rather try to go get experience or such and such. Like my resume.
That's why I stopped going to school. I was washing dishes. Like you got to wash dishes before you like learn how to cook because you got to clean your shit.
Right. Which makes sense.
Right. So yeah, but in the process of that, I started working because now I had to pay off. Right. But then I started thinking, why the hell am I paying them to teach me how to wash dishes correctly when the manager at Applebee's is not letting me leave until the dishes are done right? And they're paying me for it.
Right.
That's when the light bulb went off in my head. Bing, I'm not paying no more for that. I'm going to go here and get paid for this.
But it's the credentials. It's just like going through the military. If you go into the military and war breaks out, right after you get out of boot camp, you're deemed trainable enough to go to battle in the war.
Go get yourself killed.
But you don't have the, like we're saying, the experience, on job experience. You don't know how to deal with people. You're still a kid. You're still emotional. So you have all of this
and whenever you get any on job experience with that, like you, to your point, like you really don't need a degree for anything. Like there are people in nursing fields, IT fields, in particular fields, like you literally go into debt and then you start doing it's like, it's not for me.
Right.
You don't know until you actually get there. You have to go through college to get there.
And you locked in. I'm like, what is the longest that y'all have had to train on any job? Like the longest time that
6 to 8 weeks or something like that.
I'm 8 weeks in it right now. I'm talking about June 3rd is my start date. I'm still in training.
But you're doing the work, right? you're actually doing the job. I'm talking about a job to where they say you have to go through this orientation, you have to train, watch this video, whatever, before we can free you to do your job. What is the longest y'all have ever been in any training?
6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks, legit, before you was able to do any work at that job.
Yeah, I had to get like multiple licenses.
Bell South was about 4 to 6 weeks.
And that was before they released you on your own to do any work.
Yeah, I had to go literally learn how to climb a pole. I had to learn how to work with electricity.
Oh, you was that part?
Yeah.
I had to learn how to do all of that. Shout out Gordon, my man G. 22 years at AT&T.
You still know how to do the job?
I still know how to do the job.
You can go up there and you can lay some.
Right now, I could go in there and put 2 pairs together and put phone service in this building. I could do that.
Can you jump off?
I ain't
power for
it. I'll jump your car. That's the only thing I'm jumping. Listen, I'm speaking of which, he sent me an article like maybe 2 weeks ago, and this is how dangerous the job is. And I didn't, I did because they taught me how to respect electricity. But this guy was lifting his bucket truck, and in the bucket truck hit the electrical wire.
Yeah.
On a diesel truck, that bitch blew up.
Yeah.
Exploded.
Big bomb.
He was gone. He was incinerated.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance.
There was no chance. So whatever he did, like being around the electrical wires with the phone wire, being that it's a gap, I think it's 3 feet or how, but I can't remember the schematic. But you risk your life doing that job.
Yeah.
And he been doing that for 22 years. Like I did it for 3 and
I got electrocuted twice this morning. By this morning.
What?
Check this out. So
you say like it was just common, just
right.
It was only 2.
It was because how it happened. And the second time I got buzzed is when I actually realized something was going on because I'm working. I'm getting something straight. I went and just turned on. You know how they got like kind of like them little metal doors. You got to open it and then the switch is under there.
Yeah.
It had been raining so hard these past few days, to everything was soaked. And from what I found out, and you can cross check this, something wasn't grounded.
That's exactly what it was. I was gonna say there's something not grounded.
I went and touched the whole box.
The electric's supposed to go into the ground and dissipate through the ground.
Right, without being.
It was just sitting there like ready to.
The whole bar was lit,
looking for a ground.
I'm over there, and I opened the door, and I thought I was just wired up because I drank some C4. I thought it was like the pre-workout. Nah, I ain't get stuck because I did it and I turned it on and I was like, damn, I said, why did I feel that tingling? So then I had to turn it back off because I'm back washing some shit.
How strong do you have to be, Thor, that you don't feel that flowing through your body? Oh,
the
yeah.
Second time
I got electrocuted. I'm all right.
Because when you get electrocuted, anybody who gets electrocuted, it's not like electricity and shit sparking. You feel this tense vibration in your hand. So I know
I've definitely been electrocuted.
Like when you fall asleep on your hand, like that numbing feeling, like it's like that.
And I was just like, okay, that shit felt weird. What was that? I'm not thinking that because I'm thinking the shit's supposed to be right when somebody do it. I go back and do it again, and then I felt it because I think I barely touched it this time, so the spark kind of jumped. And I was like, damn, that's electricity. Let me stop. So I got 2 pieces of wood, pause, and then open it up and then flip the switch with the wood.
Wow.
I did that this morning, and I told
2 pieces of wood this morning.
2 pieces of wood, and I used those to flip the switch.
So with that, back to your original point, how long did it take to learn how to do that?
To do what? To not get electrocuted?
No,
quick.
no.
I hope so.
To work on the pools. How long did it take you to learn that? And did you go through a course to get that? And
I went to no course, man. I was given a pole and a route and said, pause. A lot of anyone. I was given equipment
and pole. Yeah.
I was given equipment, given the keys to the truck, and given a set of addresses, and just told to go out and clean it. I had to personally teach myself, but I'm so observant and I'm curious of how things work.
I guess that's what I was trying to get at.
Learn the hard way to know it.
You didn't get hard knocks. I had to reverse engineer it all to myself. I had to say, okay, this is where the circuit starts.
Busta Rhymes.
And figure it out.
Busta Rhymes.
What?
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah, I didn't. Ain't nothing easy over here.
You didn't go to school.
I don't have a crew.
You dropped out of school.
I don't have a crew to get money with. So I had to go out here and sell nicks and dimes and 3 5s.
Okay, so Jay-Z, all right, come on.
No. Jay-Z had a crew.
No, he started off doing that first.
Yes,
until
but he had
the crew.
He had a crew in a spot. He wasn't out there doing shit by himself. Come on, man.
You don't. Yes, he was.
Think about what you're saying.
Rock Boys in the building tonight.
You gotta have niggas watching up that way. You got the money in the drugs can't be in the same place.
Wait a minute.
So where the crew? Come on,
wait a minute. So wait a minute.
He had
Time
a
out.
crew. I'm not.
Wait a minute. Time out. He didn't start off as a corner boy.
But a corner boy is not by himself. Again, this is a operation. If you're on a corner,
he didn't have a crew. He was a part of the crew.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
that
it's
is
not.
a crew.
No, it's not.
Yes,
That is
it
a crew.
No, it's not. Do
By
you seen
default,
ATL?
Listen.
You seen ATL?
Yeah.
What the little
Light
brother was
skin
doing, he was trying to start Dolo. But he had a crew. But that's where the area and the piece of territory I think that they allegedly said that he was on, that is not a one man, I'm out here by myself fucking off type situation.
Oh no.
I'm just trying to make sense of it.
It's one man, and
you seen
and he got the other.
I seen what?
All of the drug movies and shows that they have available. Shit, even Breaking Bad, Heisenberg, he couldn't do it by himself. He could cook it, he could make it, but he had to find a supplier. He had to find somebody to sell.
He had to find a salesperson.
Exactly. So you have to have a crew in order to do it.
So
Busta Rhymes did not have a crew.
Two people is a crew?
2 people is a crew. When more than one is gathered. Telling you.
Not a couple and a few.
I'm just saying.
But when it came to this pool shit, I was out there by myself. There was nobody that.
So then, what about all these people who went out there? What all these?
Yeah, I ain't had no
all these. So then, all these kids who are out here with degrees, who are doing nothing. Should this benefit them in a manner where they don't have to pay anything back, so that the time that they wasted. Time, because that's the one thing that you can't get back. You can get take this debt away from me,
right?
But all them years they spent, all that energy, all the sacrifices they made to be students, to go do this profession that they're not partaking in.
Reparations,
right?
It's another level of reparations.
Ain't it though?
I do think I'm big on education. I think everybody should go out there and get educated.
I think it's bogus.
It's all taxed in the loop. It's taxed when you get it in the grant.
It goes back to that system shit that I've been talking about for the last
3 weeks. You're trying to work. Like, that was a big turnoff to me with school, because I had older siblings and I watched them work jobs to go to school to afford it. Some of them had scholarships and had some type of funding. And people used to always tell me, well, you don't necessarily have to have a scholarship. Go apply for grants and go apply for this and go apply for that. And I've seen people do it and still end up having to struggle or wait on this money, or they don't get this money to come. It is a lot of strain. I've seen a lot of stressed out college students, and it turned me off from wanting
to go to college,
to do with college.
I had to do that in college.
I wanted to get the knowledge.
Yo, speaking of, there's a kid on. There's a real quick before we go to break. Netflix has a special about a kid who about a kid who went to school, was great at basketball, and ended up point shaving to make money because he wasn't making any money.
He's smart.
No, he lost his shot at the NBA because he got caught.
I mean, that's what they kind of do when they in college anyway, ain't it? They make money off of them because it's...
No, but Ed O'Bannon changed that where he could now start making money off of his own likeness. That's new.
That's new.
That's
but you know how long they've been doing that before
for
that?
like 20 years trying to.
So I don't see what he did was wrong.
Them. Again, because it's the system. I mean, that don't say he can't still play basketball. It just mean that he ain't play the system.
So
we're gonna come back to it.
Always the system.
Furthermore.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jones of Glory Elite Detailing. I've been coming to Yeager's now for over 10 years. The products here are awesome. It has helped to really build my business, sustain my business, and help me provide customers with great products such as heavy-duty interior, the Yeager's tire dressing, the wash and wax, the all-purpose cleaner, the high-gloss dressing. All is great. The customer service here is great. Al Carter, the owner, He's helped to actually strengthen me as an entrepreneur, help build me, give me pointers. So I thank Yeagers as an institution to help build entrepreneurs like myself at Glory Lead Detailing.
And if you guys aren't able to make it to the store, we'll be looking forward to you on the road. Servicing all of Georgia. See you soon.
Time ago.
Leave me alone.
It's a deeper
Right.
question.
Leave me alone.
It's a
I
deeper
forgave
question
you a
than
long
just
time ago.
Getting money back, or getting this, like you said, getting that time back that you invested into stressing out about going to school and about maintaining these bills. So
Yeah, because imagine, because I know one, a college student who has a child who has to work.
crazy. Do they got to pay for daycare?
Of course, they have to pay for daycare.
Do they have any type of system in the college, in the collegiate system that's making all this money that offers any type of daycare?
That's a great question.
For students who have
Not as a
all
standard.
three of us know somebody who's worked at Emory University. Did we ever see a child care facility on Emory University?
No, not at all.
But
that whole facility is a child care
They don't
facility.
expect you to have
it
a
is.
child.
But
that's
what I was also going to say, the difference between Emory University and the AUC is a different type of student.
Yeah.
Right? Emory is a private college. Those are public schools. So when you go to Emory, there's a different kind of money behind you. There's a different expectation for you for your success. If you go to the AUC, it's like, oh, he might finish. That's already in my head like an issue.
And it's not they're not doing anything to make sure that you do finish. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you go to college and it's like, look, we got this program set to make it as easy as possible for you to be able to accomplish this.
Or
being a
is it-
student athlete.
Or is it the rat trap? Or is it the rat trap? How many students go to Emory and drop out versus how many students go to
That is a great
the AUC because
Yeah,
drop out?
Emory,
You don't- but you
Georgia
don't
State,
hear about-
AUC, Georgia State, like all the colleges is different. Different demographics.
That's exactly. So
Depending on
Georgia,
for what
Georgia
reasons
State,
they dropping out.
But you also look at where all those schools are located at and what you're seeing around you.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Georgia State is actually
in the hood.
Technically, yes.
Ain't
But
that
Georgia State became actually was a little bit of satellite colleges, a whole lot of satellite colleges that kind of amassed into
I
this
never
one
understood
conglomerate.
that because I always see, I think over Memorial Drive they have a perimeter.
Yeah, that was
Georgia
it
State?
used to be Georgia Perimeter, and then they absolved or
Yeah, pretty
whatever
much
the word is.
absorbed
They
it.
absorbed it. Thank you. They absorbed it, and they changed it to the Clarkston campus of Georgia State University.
I see.
And then
It's
they have
like-
a Dunwoody campus of
Because
Georgia State
and they had like
University.
Atlanta Metropolitan College is technically of Georgia State, like in regards to like it was a 2-year college, but now you can get like a 4-year degree at that
Are you
college.
serious? At Georgia
Yeah,
State?
it's a lot of
But Georgia
Man,
State
I'm about
actually
to
is
go.
competing
Hey,
now.
somebody tell the Georgia State coach to hit me up, man.
Not the
I,
Georgia-
I still got full eligibility to come and give niggas buckets.
Yo,
I'm about to go to school
Here's
for 2
another
years.
caveat of this student
I'm
loan
not
forgiveness.
bullshitting.
not full eligibility for buckets.
I got
It's
full
alleged
eligibility
now-
for buckets.
It's alleged now that because of this and the forecast that there may be, if this gets passed and then more student loan forgiveness in the future, that there are certain universities allegedly are already raising tuition. Prospects of, okay, cool, we can get more money off of the taxpayers.
So then
Which
what
is
that
not
does
bad.
become, no, I mean, it is in a bad way. It is because now the people aren't getting the money for themselves. It's everything that is institutionalized that is going to benefit from this, which means that is taking advantage of the people again. And this, what you mean?
Because
Funding.
If they're going to forgive my loan, why don't they just give me the $56,000 and let me choose what school I want to go to? Why do we got to pay the school?
Can I say this because teachers are underfunded? A lot of schools are underfunded as far as having supplies and stuff. So if they
We're
raise
talking
the tuition,
college?
we're talking college.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
colleges are underfunded. I say underfunded, and they don't have a lot of supplies. So a lot of these students still paying this tuition. They are not able to get the full, I guess,
resources that they need, pretty much, basically.
So then from the operation side of things, that's poor management. That don't got shit to do with me as a student choosing to go to your establishment.
Yes.
If I'm the student going to your establishment, just like when you walk into any fast food restaurant and there's one person at the register, one person cooking, and the line is out the door, and y'all are like, hurry the fuck up. Hurry the fuck up. It's one person. Well, why is there only one person?
Because they're underfunded. But think about to what you're saying. If McDonald's is only paying people $12, that's for you to be at the front, right? You only getting paid $12.
So you're gonna,
but really
a different type of person working there.
No. It's to show that these institutions have been underfunded for all of this time. Like again, teachers do not make
McDonald's ain't underfunded.
I'm talking about not McDonald's, but the employees.
If they be feeling underfunded, cool. But like, why are you now raising your costs after this? So like, then you've been underfunded before.
Exactly.
Because then if you raise the cost to something that makes sense, then maybe you can actually get.
So the current price that they were paying didn't make sense to who?
I'm just saying. Let's just say we're in a hypothetical world. I'm just saying. Okay, if the minimum wage that you can make as an employee at McDonald's is $10 an hour, they're already making $20 billion a year. Okay, let's just say that with $20 billion a year, what you're making, you can only pay your employees 10. If you're making $40 billion a year, then now you can pay your employees 20. Y'all following what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But it goes back to this. It still goes to me to management, because who's pushing the money down?
It's management. But again, just like Denny's that was closed down.
It wasn't closed.
I mean, not closed, but Denny's, who's under fire for that 52U, they did not have the money to do what they needed to do in the first place.
Why didn't they?
Because
that's beside the point.
No, it's not. Because it's going to go back to my point originally.
Because they used that money when Denny's first started. They used that money to build. When you build and you get to a certain point to where you have
enough money coming in on a daily basis to get it done.
That's what I'm saying.
That's called equity.
Yes, but in any business, think about it. Any business that you start off, if you start a business off from the ground, right? You're taking all the clients. You're taking everything. You really don't even have a no policy or a shut off point. You're taking all the clients you can take, right? If you open up right now in a restaurant and you cooking, you don't care who come eat. You're going to feed them.
Right.
Until you get to a point to where you now have a baseline. When you have a baseline is only when you become bougie in a business. So with college, with Denny's, with McDonald's or such and such, then they started saying, you know what? We don't want to do wings. We don't want to offer wings. We might have had it on the menu before, but it don't make sense right now because we just want to focus on that. So
I hear all that. Come on, so deliver the point, because I still got a counterpoint to this.
That's fine. So if they're raising now tuition, maybe they now don't have an excuse for not having books. Maybe they don't have an excuse for not having classes, because now if you raise it, you say we was paying you this much before, now you want this much. We don't want any problems. We should be able to come through, get an education, and everything be fine. Because now we're paying more than what we was paying, what we were paying before. But what you were paying before was not sufficient enough to do the job properly. That's what I'm saying. So now, if you want to raise the money, now I'm just putting more accountability on you. Okay, fine. If you say gas went from $2 to $7, this fucking gas better get me to the moon. I have that as an expectation.
It's not, and you know this.
I mean, that's
but now you can point
in the hypothetical world.
But now you can point that finger, because again, it's like if I come and I do the service, like if I come service somebody's pool and they pay me that first week, right? I'm under the impression that they're automatically going to pay me the next week. Then I go back that next week because they paid me the first week. Now I go back the next week and they don't pay me. Should I fire that person? Should I say, okay, well, you know what? They have a good history of paying. Or should I say, okay, well...
So what if the first time they came out, they watched you and they did their due diligence on you, and they watched you and they said, well...
that dialogue and communication?
The next time, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. The next time you come out, did you have a conversation with me the first time to say that we were going to pay for this? Or did you start working and then expect them to pay?
I expected it based off.
That's on you.
No. I'm saying I expected it based off the principle of I did a service was rendered. Now there's a payment.
Right. So
it wasn't not for free. It was no time was wasted. The customer called you and said, "Hey, we need this done." They knew that at that point. Why would a customer call somebody if they don't have, money to pay? Why would somebody want a service?
Man, are you serious?
I know, but again, again, I'm talking about consciously. Where does it put you? Do you now take that person and say, hey, they're full of shit, or hey, I'm going to get payment, or hey, do I need to be a little bit more lenient with how I do business with them? Anything.
And it can go any route, and that's up to you.
No, I'm just saying, because the point that you were getting at was how they're raising prices.
Right.
My point was, if you're raising prices, then you pay the student so the student can pay them a monthly bill, not you get the money to the.
But that's proven.
Institution.
They just gave stimulus checks out, and nobody, let me quote unquote air quote this, no one did anything responsible with that money. So how do you think that they're going to take the difference of that payment and give it directly to a student and hope that they do anything? Because America is about hurting your money.
But
your money.
Listen to who you're trusting. You're trusting that the people upstairs in the institution are going to do the right thing with that money.
I'm not trusting them.
You just said
I'm not trusting them. What I'm doing is I'm saying now
hold them accountable.
Let's expose them, because again, if I come to you and I say, if Muda say, look, I can freak these shoes for you, and I say, okay, well, can you freak the shoes for me, and then I'll pay you for them? Or I say, hey, I'm going to pay you, give me the product when you're done with it. Again, if I've paid, now I have a expectation of that service.
Yeah, but yours was a flip. You said if you do the service and they don't pay you.
Right, but there's two sides to it. That's what I'm saying. If right now, if we say, hey, okay, y'all give us the money instead of paying off the student debt, just give us the difference, give us a salary. How the system is looking at it is, we cannot guarantee that money is going to get poured back into our system.
It's going to get poured back into the economy, which is ultimately what they wanted with the stimulus checks.
It's still going to be the same thing. That's the point I'm trying to make.
But again, it's the powers that be that want to herd that money. Again, everybody lobbyists.
That's where I'm trying to go.
Okay,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
Let me put my seatbelt back on, sir.
Yeah, that's where I'm trying to go. I wanted you to get back to that point, because
I'm gonna put my seatbelt back on.
These people
reshifting the money.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. They're just reshifting the money so that the same people put their hands on the money. The point is, what Panay was saying is, the taxpayers are going to be paying for that, right? Every time we spend our money and give our taxes to the government is finding a way to put that money back into the U.S. economy so that we continually keep the cycle going. But then what happens is, if the money goes in, but then the money comes out, but the money doesn't go back in, who took the money and where did it go?
That's what I'm saying.
Now then we have to replace that money, which is what he's saying.
And I follow, and that's why I'm saying, if I give the money to Muda for the service to be done, before the service has been done, now I know where the money went. I know where I gave that money to. It's not that, okay, I came out and did a service and now I gotta wait, or she said, here's your shoes, and now Muda gotta wait on the money.
Which is why, to caveat, which is why they're trying to get rid of fiat currency. Because if I gave Muda $20, they can't see that transaction.
Right.
But if I sent Muda
a cash app of 20,
they can see that 20.
Right.
Because the blockchain shows every transaction and how that money moves.
So do you think this is a ploy? And this is a question you can ask. Do you... Okay, I ain't even got to ask. No, you already know. So is that what it? Because I heard that they trying to do away completely with currency and go full crypto.
Right, that's been in the works.
That's been in the works for quite some time.
So I think me personally, because I put a post up and I said, so what is the purpose of having a cash coin shortage during COVID? If nobody's out, if nobody's out. Listen to this. If no one is out on the streets, no one is spending anything, where the hell did the money go? Answer that question.
Right.
If nobody is
out of coins,
how can you be out of coins if nobody's out spending money? Where's the coins? The coins should still be where they was at before this thing happened.
So are we asking this question? Because this is a question that needs to be asked, but it needs to be asked in a bigger voice. Because again, for the past 2 weeks, everybody's been telling me either exact change or they don't have change or something. And again, I know to call bullshit in my mind, but
that's the point I'm trying to get to. There's a lot of things that's happening that we're not paying no attention. Did y'all not notice when COVID happened that somebody's streets was getting paved?
Yeah, even there's a lot of construction going on right now here in Atlanta.
Where the fucking money come from?
That money came from before all of this happened. Most of it. It's just a reshuffling of money, because when you go to college and how you have to apply, like you're applying for college, it costs you money for the application.
Yeah.
When the Pell Grant comes to you, that's taxed, the way that it's dispersed to you.
Yeah.
And a lot of white people that know financial literacy, they do pay off their children's whole college tuition all 4 years up front for tax purposes, because it's actually cheaper that way. So in the way that we're raising the whole like cost of everything except like the hourly wages for most states, and that's why so many things are coming into play, and why everything is getting taxed, even from a digital side. Like I remember when that shift, when it said like with Cash App, like underneath a certain amount, everything is getting taxed, because we have to bring back more money into this economy some type of way.
So
also, it's an election year.
That too.
So a lot of things are getting implemented too.
That too.
So
I think all of it is a ploy for election
And it's
purposes.
like we wouldn't have, if it weren't for the pandemic and how it was with the economy. There are more states that want marijuana on the ticket. We wouldn't even have that if our economy hadn't got destroyed the way it's gotten in the last few
but
years.
I think once again, here it is.
We gotta get
In
this
order
money.
we do. But in order for the system to work the way the system is working, we're looking at a system that we're accustomed to looking at as the United States. That's what we see.
Right.
That's not the plan.
Right.
The plan is to globalize one currency. Right.
This is true.
The plan is to globalize one currency, and they're not saying that to us, because what does that look like?
You
no
pay
longer
attention
being
to
a
stocks or
country.
anything like that?
The world. Say it again.
You watch stocks and things like that?
I do.
Pay attention to it in different categories and how we're shifting and whatnot. That'll tell you what's to come and where the money's been going and how that's been shifting. Even with real estate, like I've been telling people for a while, like, not to buy a house. I'm like, no, you got to watch the stocks. Like, and then with these companies, I think it came out like earlier this year. It was like so many real estate companies like laid off so many people. And so like there's a shift in where the money is going, and a lot of people became entrepreneurs throughout the pandemic. So it's just a shift of where money is
how
going.
it's going. But and necessarily, I don't know. Okay, I guess it would be fair to say that it is a bad thing if everything changed like that. But is it a bad thing with everything that they're doing? Do y'all think that we're moving in a
positive direction,
more capitalist way?
I think we're moving less capital.
Yeah, this is more.
I
We're
feel
moving.
Like it's going directly to the people.
This is going socialist.
So is that a good thing or bad thing?
It depends on how you look at it.
All right.
Communism or socialism.
I mean, you can't. It's a GOAT conversation. Is it a GOAT of financial living in America? Is it a GOAT of real estate in America? Is it a GOAT of entrepreneurship? So should more people focus on their own GOAT?
At this point in time, I do believe they should.
Financial literacy is definitely the one that you should be into the most, and where we're growing and changing to.
Understanding how your money works.
And not just the physical money. You need to understand digital aspects. You need to understand IRAs. You need to understand like even life insurance. A lot of people, especially our people, wait until like you die, like that don't know like you can use your life insurance while you're living
the entire time you're alive.
A lot of people don't, and that's what I'm saying. Like, should everybody be studying and getting ready for the new world order? Yes. Or should we be trying to fight it?
Yes.
No.
Fight it.
There's nothing you can fight.
There's nothing that you can fight in regards to that. Just equip yourself with more knowledge. And people are really passive about it. Even when I talk to other people about it, they're so passive. It's like, okay, you're just a conspiracy theorist. But I'm like, even so, just read up on it.
Y'all know that song?
Read up on it.
This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Remember that song? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that whole I can't sing. So you're trying to clown me on air. No. So no, the reason that song is legitimate.
I don't know many light skinned folks who can't sing though.
I told you I'm the darkest light skin when you know.
I thought you all had like that genuine vocal tone where y'all can do that.
Sorry.
Y'all seen that little shimmy he did?
I dare you. Do it one more time. How dare you?
Yeah.
I seen Genuine do that little leg shimmy thing, and I was
opaque, and I'm a little brown skin. Don't mean that.
She called this nigga opaque.
I could call him opaque.
Yeah, because of the opaque one. That's what she calls me.
The opaque one.
So I guess because I thought people were trying to fight the system, trying to reverse it, trying to stop it. So now it is more just conform and educate yourself. But
not necessarily you got to conform to it. I just want you to educate. You'll know how to maneuver in it if you educate yourself more.
And that's what I'm saying. Why by doing business, like the best thing they used to say, okay, well, you get and infiltrate the system to be able to change the system. It's not now that you infiltrate the system to change the system. It's just now you infiltrate the system to have more stake in real estate in the system.
You have to know how to operate in the system. But this is the thing I'm saying. If the system is changing and you don't know the system is changing, you're learning useless information.
But again, also if it's changing and you're not in a position to be in that wave of the change, Busta Rhymes and Jay-Z. Jay-Z was in a position to be effectively in the change. Busta Rhymes could have been the president of Def Jam at some point in time, but he was not, because he was not in the position to effectively maneuver it or to make that change.
And I'll say it like this: I'm gonna put it out there because this is a lot of us.
Don't be disrespectful.
It's just us. This is what we do. I don't want to worry about that. That's a lot of us. I don't want to worry about that.
For good reason.
Right? Because I don't want to worry about that leaves us blind to learning. We don't have to learn something new. We're stuck right here. And so we're stuck comfortably right here. And then we complain like a motherfucker about the shit that's happening around us. Yeah. But we ain't learning nothing to change the circumstance that we're in, that we can change and fix ourselves. And that blame becomes somebody other than ourselves.
But it's that portion too, but it's also when you learn so much about it and you realize that, oh, it's all bullshit.
Bro, do you know how much money black people could have made during this war?
Could have, but we were not set up to.
No. I'm sorry.
But you cannot say that.
I was set up. Why? Because when it was time to learn, I jumped my ass in there and learned, and I didn't blind myself to financial literacy.
That's because you have made it to a point.
It's not because I made it to a point.
No. I'm saying make it to a point of mental consciousness, just like anybody spiritual. We talked about spirituality last week. When you're a kid, you think a certain type of way. You have to get that awareness. You have to either feel that prick, or you either have to know enough about life to make a conscious decision. You're at a point in your life where you know and you see you have enough on the job experience in life.
But that's not where it came from. It came from the fact that I have to take care of 3 children.
Exactly, but
so because of my obligation to other people, I had to learn some shit. If I'm out here just for me, then you damn right I'm moving differently. But if I'm obligated to somebody else's life,
you had to get to that awareness, because there's most men that don't have that simple part of that awareness.
Because they're not concerned about themselves.
They could be concerned, but in a different manner. Again, you're learning financial literacy. Some people or another person could say, fuck that, I'm about to go get cash in hand. I'm about to go get cash in hand. However it is that you want to do it, you're going to go get cash in hand. That financial literacy point, that's another level of it.
But Quest,
you got to go through some shit.
You're the one who put this little tick in my heart. You said
pause.
I said tick.
How dare?
No.
He said tick, but I said tick.
Can it be dared how?
Tick, tick, boom.
Thank you,
The reason why I'm saying this is the word. What you said is you have to be doing something different than what people are in, and it has to be more beneficial to them in order for them to want to change.
Right.
So if I'm showing you a better way and you still not following it, who the fuck is that?
It's both parties.
No, because if I'm trying to teach and you don't want to hear it, then it ain't got shit to do with me.
But you got to think about it. You only
on
here
that side
to.
too.
It depends on how
right I am. Because if I'm trying and I'm trying and I try 15,000 different ways and you've blocked every single one of them, at what point am I the fool for continuing to try?
It is not there. It is not.
I know it. That struggle.
You. It's not up to you to determine when somebody else learns.
So then you got to just do you until they ready.
You plant a seed.
But you got to. This is the consistency. You got to do it until you're ready. Because
no, I don't have to do it to listen.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Listen, if a bee lands on a flower and catches its pollen, he don't know that he's fertilizing another flower when he lands on it. He doesn't know it. He's just doing what he's doing.
Right.
I'm going to move in a like manner, but I'm going to come around. I'm going to fertilize. And if what I'm doing isn't showing you something different, I'm going to move to another flower.
Does that queen bee know that that's her purpose in life?
What you said, right.
Does the queen bee know that's her purpose?
Yeah.
No, the queen bee's purpose is to do what for the hive?
To do what?
For the hive.
Yes.
Thrive the hive.
Does the queen bee know that's her purpose?
The queen bee does know that. She doesn't ever leave the hive.
Right. So like
they're not flower hopping because they have a route.
Flower hopping because they're drones, and that's what they're.
But it's not because they have a route. So hear what I'm saying, because I heard what you're saying. You're trying to forcefully pollinate.
No, I'm not trying to forcefully pollinate anything.
Can you hear me?
Come around and show people.
If you're coming around and you're showing somebody and they're not catching it, they're not learning.
You're not gonna stop.
You're not gonna go to the next flower.
I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. My purpose is completely different. My purpose is, if I'm the bee,
right.
My job is to continue to pollinate everywhere I can, not knowing.
But it's not your job.
Pollinate everywhere you can. You also have. You don't need to know the understanding of it, but some of them ones that you pollinate might not live.
Right. Like you don't know that you're pollinating everyone.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna keep moving.
Right. But you asked.
But I think that's
at
all
what
of us.
point do you become a fool from sharing knowledge? Because you want this person to learn. You want this person to learn. You want these people to grow.
Liken yourself to standing in front of a brick wall and saying, "I beg you to become a tree."
Right, but that's not your choice. You have to plant. You're just leaving the seed.
If you're still that bee and you know this flower is gonna die, you're gonna look at it and still not give them that type of
plant a seed. But if I've planted a seed 15,000 times, am I planting it in infertile soil?
Move on.
That's what I just said.
But it's not. But that does
giving up.
That does not mean that the soil is infertile. You're judging the soil, and you're
I'm not judging the soil. If I plant a seed and the bitch don't grow, the seed is dead. Okay, I'll take that.
But
okay, I get what he's saying. The seed got to grow on your timing, though.
Maybe not my timing. If I'm planting the seed,
it's your timing before you move on from that seed.
He's not going to move on. He's going to keep planting. He's going to grow.
He gonna
grow now.
Because if you plant a seed, you supposed to watch it until it grows.
No, I don't.
You're not.
You don't know planting.
No, I don't.
You're not gonna watch it.
No, because
until it grows.
Guess what? Because guess what?
How do seeds work in your world? You gonna tend to it and watch it grow.
Oh, wait a minute! I forgot.
Artificial plants.
I forgot. Y'all don't pay attention to the trees because they cutting them bitches down. But trees.
I'm talking about the seed, not the tree. The tree gotta go from the seed.
Exactly.
Right.
So what man did that?
What man did that?
What man
did
furthermore?
that?
What man did that?
Are you that man that did that?
What man did that? What man planted all these trees on planet Earth? What man did that?
Not one man.
So what? Not one man did that.
No man did that.
Did that?
Not the system did that.
No man did that.
Okay, so if we're gonna get furthermore, then the system is.
Furthermore, no man did that.
The system is the in depth of the system. There is a system that's in place. It's the system that's keeping the ecosystem alive. That's where he's going. I know where he's going. Okay, so but that has nothing to do with man. Man has nothing. Man,
it does.
Man does not fertilize the Amazon basin.
We do. We do.
No, we don't.
We indirectly do.
It existed before we did.
You fertilize.
It existed. It existed before we did.
But this is what I'm saying.
Where's your body decompose and it doesn't contribute back to the earth?
So then that wasn't man first. That was animals.
How does that have to do with animals? When you die, like you physically die.
But before mankind existed, there were animals. We did not exist with dinosaurs. Okay, but there were still forests back then.
Yeah, that doesn't tie into what I'm saying, though.
We did not fertilize those trees.
But you're trying to fertilize man. And that is where the problem comes, because people put themselves in between the process.
Right.
When you're planting a seed or you're giving information, because I want to go back to, because we're trying to infect some type of change or some type of growth in people to have a certain level of knowledge. Everybody is not going to grow the same way. Everybody's not going to get the same amount of light. Everybody's not going to get the same amount of water. It is a seed. When you're planting a seed, unless you are taking responsibility, like Muda says, for making sure you watch this seed grows, you don't have the luxury
would be
of
careless
saying
on your part to be the planner, because don't start planting the seed if you don't plan to stick around to watch it grow.
So you mean to tell me that story about Johnny Appleseed? This motherfucker stuck around every tree he planted, and
If I'm if
across the
that's
country?
ultimately what it is, I want to watch you grow.
Johnny Appleseed, no, he was just going around planting seeds and jolly frolicking to the next state.
And that's fine.
I don't know what this little Aesop fable is stuff you talking about. Like we ain't about to do all that. You're not about to relate that to real life.
Why?
That is in regards to knowledge, or because I'm
That's
the
what
same
the
way. I'm
purpose of it
same way
is.
with you. Like you, it's an eternal expectation because I'm here that I want this person to be here as well.
You want to
But
see
it requires a lot of patience. It is like planting a seed. It's like when you teaching a kid like how to tie their shoelaces. You know how to tie them. It's so difficult to teach them because it's like, okay, I'm getting frustrated. So you in your return have to have patience to understand that this person does not know this.
That's what, but you didn't hear me say
continuously
15.
do it.
I said 15,000. I didn't say 526.
Yes, 15,000. Think
is
about
not
it.
patience.
That's not.
Buddha, 15,000 is not patience.
That's
Yeah.
not if
Okay,
you
so
lose
I've
it.
shown you that I have patience.
Not if you lose it.
15,500 is 5, 10, 15, like 30 times.
Yes.
And he'll have that in return, like to know 15. It took 15,000 times, but he got it. But it was never on your time.
15.
But it's not on my time.
Yeah.
He lost his at 15,001. That's where your patience was lost.
No, I said 15,260.
Okay, so at
I'm just, I don't remember the number.
261, that's when your patience was lost. Because again,
750 is when I would have lost my patience.
it took you to talk to one person
750.
one time.
750. Okay,
Cut
credit
off.
score.
If it took you one time and now you have an expectation that, okay, when you talk to somebody, if this person gets it, like you can go and you can give all of this knowledge and information to one person. If this person takes it, run it, and go with it, then now you juiced up. Now you like, oh yeah, everybody should be able to get it this quick. Some people have different situations where it takes them a little bit longer to grow. So in the case of teaching people financial literacy or the literacy of, hey, you need to be a little bit more mindful of your future and your kids' future. It takes people a time to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes them a amount of time to
It
get
also
to that
takes
point.
the amount of sacrifice to, I'm not going to spend money on this.
And
Again,
sometimes you got to be what they need to
that's hard.
see.
Yeah,
I have that going on. There's certain things I can explain to my family that they don't understand. And it's like, you know what? I got to sit here and actually do these things and actually tell them, like show them.
And ladies and gentlemen, that'll conclude today's show. You have thoughts, you can chime in. The number's on the screen. So for next week, you can hit us up on the number.
3566.
But leave your thoughts in the comment. And thank you for joining in with Furthermore.
Subscribe, follow us.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Furthermore. Come on, take a moment, reflect. We just gave you an earful. They breaking down the blocks while we build with some ill tools. Over the hill views while we charging the battle. Time is over the limit, critical with your cattle. Casual, curious content, change for your nonsense, raw thoughts. Furthermore, no drooling, no vomit. View it or farm it. We invite you to with the comments. Till the next time, take the share button and harm it. Yeah.